Hello, kindergarten. This morning, we're going to continue talking about things that writers do, especially writers who write children's stories. I have another favorite author I'd like to introduce you to today. His name is Tommy DePaula. He writes a lot of good children's books, but he didn't start out as a writer. He actually started out as an artist. So in this story, The Art Lesson, we're going to learn about how Tommy DePaula decided that he wanted to become an artist and draw such great pictures. So today we're going to talk about what the book does when the pictures are so detailed. You can actually look at the pictures and use kind of the frames to go through all the many fun events and activities in his life. It seems like the main character, Tommy, has always known that he wants to be an artist in this story. And it sure sounds like art is Tommy's favorite thing to do. So I want you to think about also, what is your favorite thing to do? Maybe art isn't your favorite thing, and that's okay. Everybody is good at something, so what is your favorite thing to do? So let's go ahead and read the story, and then we'll talk about what we can write about. Tommy knew he wanted to be an artist when he grew up. He drew pictures everywhere he went. It was his favorite thing to do. His friends had favorite things to do too. Jack collected all kinds of turtles. Herbie made huge cities in his sandbox. Jeannie, Tommy's best friend, could do cartwheels and stand on her head. But Tommy drew and drew and drew. He drew pictures of his friends. His twin cousins, who were already grown up, were in art school, learning to be real artists. They told him not to copy and to practice, practice, practice. So he did. Tommy put his pictures up on the walls of his half of the bedroom. His mom put them up all around the house. His dad took them to the barber shop where he worked. Tom and Nana, Tommy's Irish grandfather and grandmother, had his pictures in their grocery store. Nana Fall River, his Italian grandmother, put one in a special frame on the table next to the photograph of Aunt Chloe in her wedding dress. Once Tommy took a flashlight and a pencil under the covers and drew pictures on his sheets, but when his mom changed his sheets on Monday and found them, she said, "No more drawing on the sheets, Tommy." His mom and dad were having a new house built, so Tommy drew pictures of what it would look like when it was finished. When the walls were up, one of the carpenters gave Tommy a piece of bright blue chalk. Tommy took the chalk and drew beautiful pictures all over the unfinished walls. But when the painters came, his dad said, "That's it, Tommy. No more drawing on the walls." Tommy couldn't wait to go to kindergarten. His brother Joe told him there was a real art teacher who came to the school to give art lessons. "When do we have our art lesson?" Tommy asked the kindergarten teacher. "Oh, you won't have your art lessons until next year," said Miss Bird, "but we are going to paint pictures tomorrow." It wasn't much fun. The paint was awful and the paper got all wrinkly. Miss Bird made the paint by pouring different colored powders into different jars and mixing them with water. The paint didn't stick to the paper very well and it cracked. It was windy when Tommy carried his picture home. The paint blew right off the paper. "At least you get more than one piece of paper in kindergarten," his brother Joe said. "When the art teacher comes, you only get one piece." Tommy knew that the art teacher came to the school every other Wednesday. He could tell she was an artist because she wore a blue smock over her dress and she always carried a big box of thick colored chalk. Once Tommy and Jeannie looked at the drawings that were hung in the hallway. They were done by the first graders. "Your pictures are much better," Jeannie told Tommy. "Next year, when we have real art lessons, you'll be the best one." Tommy could hardly wait. He practiced all summer. Then, on his birthday, which was right after school began, his mom and dad gave him a box of 64 Crayola crayons. Regular boxes of crayons had red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet, brown, and black. This box had so many other colors: blue, violet, turquoise, red, orange, pink, and even gold, silver, and copper. Class, said Mrs. Landers, the first grade teacher, next month the art teacher will come to our room. So on Monday, instead of singing, we will practice using our crayons. On Monday, Tommy brought his 64 crayons to show Miss Landers. Miss Landers was not pleased. Everyone must use the same crayons, she said. School crayons. School crayons had only the same old 8 colors. As Miss Landers passed them out to the class, she said, these crayons are school property, so do not break them, peel off the paper, or wear down the points. How am I supposed to practice being an artist with school crayons? Tommy asked Jack and Herbie. That's enough, Tommy, Miss Landers said, and I want you to take those birthday crayons home with you and leave them there. And Joe was right. They only got 1 piece of paper. Finally, the day of art lesson came. Tommy could hardly sleep that night. The next morning, he hid the box of 64 crayons under his sweater and went off to school. He was ready. The classroom door opened and in walked the art teacher. Miss Landers said, Class, this is Mrs. Bowers, the art teacher. Patty, who is our paper monitor this week, will give out 1 piece of paper to each of you. And remember, don't ruin it because it's the only piece you'll get. Now, pay attention to Mrs. Bowers. Class, Mrs. Bowers began, because Thanksgiving is not so far away, we will learn to draw a pilgrim man, a pilgrim woman, and a turkey. Watch carefully and copy me. Copy? Copy? Tommy knew that real artists didn't copy. This was terrible. This was supposed to be a real art lesson. He folded his arms and he just sat there. Now what's the matter? Miss Landers asked. Tommy looked past her and he spoke right to Mrs. Bowers. I'm going to be an artist when I grow up, and my cousins told me that real artists don't copy, and besides, Miss Landers won't let me use my own 64 Crayola crayons. Well, well, Mrs. Bowers said, what are we going to do? She turned to Miss Landers, and they whispered together. Miss Landers nodded. Now, Tommy, Mrs. Bowers said, it wouldn't be fair to let you do something different from the rest of the class. But I have an idea. If you draw the pilgrim man and woman and the turkey and there's any time left, I'll give you another piece of paper, and you can do your own picture with your own crayons. Can you do that? I'll try, Tommy said with a big smile. And he did. And he did. And he still does. And that's the end of the art lesson. Why don't you take a minute to pause the video now, get up and do a stretch break, and then we're going to talk about how we can use this book in our own writing. In the book, The Art Lesson, Tommy DePaola says at the very last page, and he still does. What do you think he means by that? Think about it. He's allowed to draw 1 picture with the school crayons, and then he's allowed to draw whatever he wants with the rest of his crayons. So he keeps on doing that for his whole life. Now he's an old man and he's still drawing pictures. This is his favorite thing to do. So I want you to use this book as an example of a writer writing about something that he loves to do. So I'm going to give you a sentence stem, kind of like the stem of a flower. The stem holds the flower up and it gets it going. So I'd like to get you going by starting you with the words my favorite thing to do are, and then I want you to fill out the rest. So if this was something that I was going to be writing about, my favorite things to do are, I would probably write down cook. I like to cook. And I'm going to put a comma because I'm going to keep writing more. I have more things that I enjoy doing, not just cooking. My favorite things to do are to cook. I like to do yoga. Other things that I like to
do are I like to draw and I like to sing. So you can write more than one thing that are your favorites. So I want you to go to Seesaw and think about your favorite things to do and finish my sentence with your favorite. I can't wait to